G'day. My name's Nathan Lindsell, and welcome to episode number 30 of The Fine Art of Distraction. So, today's episode, I'm actually going to be revisiting something that I've already done before, but it was actually at the tail end of one of my other videos, so it didn't really get the fame and the glory that it deserved. But before I tell you and show you what I'm going to be doing today, I have to show you the result of last week. Even though I showed you it at the end of last week's video, I've got to show you it again because I think it turned out wicked cool. How cool is this? This thing turned out so cool. And I believe this to be the world's first wood grain floor fan. Yes, you can get ceiling fans that are wood grain because they're made out of wood, but I've actually never seen a wood grain floor fan before. Like, how sick is that? Hello! Now, I actually haven't got my mate to sort out the electronics yet, and I know exactly what I did. It was such a rookie mistake, but I still think I'm going to get my mate who's an electrician to actually sort it out for me. But yeah, how awesome did this thing turn out? Yeah! You! Now, I've decided that I will be doing another wood grain item. Not today. I'm not going to be doing it today. I will be doing another wood grain item in a few episodes' time. But I've decided to actually do it again because when I was watching this video back, I noticed that majority of the whole video was sped right up. And basically I had to do that because, I mean, I can't remember the number off the top of my head, but like there was approximately 8 hours worth of footage that I had to sort of squeeze into and try to get it at a reasonable sort of time for you guys to watch. But if I was to actually have all the alcohol ink side of it at real time, the actual video itself would have gone for about an hour and 45 minutes, almost 2 hours. And that's just way too long to actually ask you guys to actually sit down and watch. So I did try to get it under an hour, which I did. But the reason why I want to do another wood grain item is so that I can actually talk you through it on how to actually do, one, the actual wood grain, and two, these awesome knots. So yeah, as I said, it's not today, but it will be in a few episodes' time. And I'll probably just do like a drinking cup. But yeah. But how cool did that thing turn out? That's wicked cool! You! Yeah! You! Alrighty, so today's episode, as I mentioned, I'm going to be doing something that I've already done before. I'm actually going to be making a silicone mat. Now, in fluid art and resin art and all that sort of stuff, we as artists use silicone mats quite a bit. One, clean up afterwards is so much easier. And two, with fluid art, you can actually make other art, like jewelry, or even embellish other paintings with drippings and skins from another pour that you've just done. So having lots of silicone mats in my artist toolbox is actually going to be very, very, very handy to have. Now, I already have 2 silicone mats which I made. Both of them are 90 centimeter rounds. And they're for both of my big Lazy Susans. But you might remember that I actually made a multi-sized Lazy Susan. So I'm actually needing to do a silicone mat for one of the smaller heads, and I'm also going to be doing a rectangle, which the rectangle is 120 centimeters long by 60 centimeters wide. And I believe the round head is about 55 centimeters. So, yeah, so I'm going to be doing 2 silicon mats, but I'm going to be doing it with a twist. Of course I'm going to do it with a twist. Now, I'm a fluid artist, so I decided the silicon mats that I'm going to do are actually going to be fluid art silicon mats. And you're probably thinking, what the heck is a fluid art silicon mat? Well, I'm actually going to colour 2 parts of the actual silicon rubber, which the silicon rubber comes as white. And I'm going to colour the other 2 colours in my favourite football team's colours. So there'll be white, then there's black, and there's blue. So my favourite football team is the Cronulla Sharks, and their colours are blue, black, and white. So I'm going to make 2 blue, black, and white fluid art silicon mats. Alrighty, guys. Now that I've told you what I'm going to be doing today and showed you the dry result, actually, I've got to tell you one more thing. In a couple of weeks' time, I've actually organised another artist collaboration where I've got 19 amazing fluid artists, or actually fluid art channels, because 2 of those channels actually are a duo combo. But yeah, so the collaboration's called Pijama Party. And basically what it is, it's almost like a pajama party, but using pigments. And the pigments that we're going to be using are from this little piggy. Hence why I called the collaboration Pijama Party. And I actually approached the management team of Fluid Art Co., which is the makers of this little piggy pigments. I told them what my idea is, and they've actually agreed to sponsor it. And how are they going to be sponsoring it, you ask? Well, for one lucky winner, there will be a 10 pigment galaxy package. So within this little piggy, they actually name all of their colours after something, and they actually have a galaxy range, and that is actually going to be the prize package. So there's 10, that's right, 10 pigments, and one lucky winner is going to win that, okay? So I will be doing promotion stuff for that, so keep an eye out for it, and yeah. So now that I've told you about the collaboration that we've got coming up, and I've told you about what I'm going to be doing today, and I showed you the dry result of last week, let's head over to the table. I'll show you what products I'm going to be using, and yeah, let's get going, guys. Alrighty then, so here's all the products I'm going to be using today, and as you can see, it's very different to the stuff that you're normally used to seeing on the table here. I mean, for starters, we've got contact book covering. We've never used that before, but we'll get to that in a second. Let's talk about the main product that we're going to be using, which is from a company called Sili Create, and the product itself is called Liquid Silicone Rubber. Now, basically, the liquid silicone rubber is a part A and also a part B mixture. It's a 1-to-1 ratio. So basically, anything, the amount that you add of A, you have to add the same amount of B. Now, I'll be using all of this today. So I'll be using both bottles of part A and both bottles of part B, which makes it really easy. Now, you will need containers to actually mix up these products, and because I'm actually going to be using 3 colours, I've got 3 little buckets. As I mentioned before, I will be doing a dirty pour of the blue, black and white, And I got this mammoth, absolutely mammoth jug to basically do the dirty pour, to put all the colours in there and then do a massive dirty pour. Now, isn't that just the biggest jug you've ever seen? Alrighty, so to basically mix these up, you will need a solid mixing stick. So I'll be using a solid palette knife. But last time I mixed up the Sili Crete, I noticed it was quite hard to stir. So now I actually do use this when I mix up my resin. But I don't think that this is actually going to be powerful enough to actually mix the Sili Crete, because it is quite a thick mixture. So I do have this bad boy. Where I'll be using that. You! All right. So, now you might be wondering, why do I have a contact book covering? Well, basically, because the timber products that I'll be using, like the rectangle and also the round bit of timber, they aren't actually sealed yet. I don't have like resin or anything like that over it. And if I was to pour the silicone rubber straight on top of it, basically what's actually going to happen, a lot of the air bubbles that are trapped inside the timber are actually going to come through and up into the silicone rubber. So I actually need to actually put, I mean, you can use sticky tape, a whole heap of sticky tape, but it's just easier just to use contact. So I'm going to cover the wood in the contact, and then, I mean, that on its own will be fine. Like, the silicone rubber won't stick to it, but I'm actually going to put a little bit of Vaseline on it just to make sure that it doesn't stick to it. So basically the silicone acts as a release agent, okay? I will have to actually put a bunch of masking tape around the edges of the actual rectangle and also round bit of timber. So basically it houses in the silicone rubber and it doesn't sort of spill over, okay? Definitely have to make sure that the surface that you're working with is actually level, and the surface that I actually am using, it's very, very similar to the Lazy Susan that I made, where it actually has its own leveling system. So I'll show you that to you when we get to it. We do have a knife and also scissors to actually cut the actual contact paper. We do have some baby wipes to wipe down the contact paper before I actually put the the Vaseline down. And then these little things here, that's actually the paste, the coloured paste that I'm going to be putting into the actual silicone rubber to colour it. And then I've just got like a little palette knife just to sort of scoop it out. I will be using all of the blue and all of the black, so it's nice and rich. And yeah, and that box is actually just that. All right, guys, now that I've showed you what products I'm going to be using, I'll clear off all of this. I'll start preparing the actual timber, and then yeah, we'll get pouring. Thanks, guys. We want to put a little bit more pressure on it now so it's really tight. You'll start to see it sort of buckle in. So if you missed this earlier, the reason why we're putting Vaseline on it, it's to basically act as a release agent, so the actual silicone rubber itself doesn't stick to this. Alrighty, so for those that were wondering about what I was talking about with the leveling system, so underneath here we've actually got, whoops, we've got an insert thread nut there with basically a threaded foot, and basically you thread it in, turn it to the actual height, like when you've got the leveler there, and then yeah, we've got a leveling table. And this is the exact same system that I put on the leveling Lazy Susan. So it makes everything so much easier when you know that you can level it nice and easily. Alright, so before I put the Vaseline on this one, I actually just want to mix up the silicone rubber, just so I've got like a surface to actually mix on. Alrighty then, so we've got basically 4 litres of liquid silicone rubber, and we've only got 3 colours. So basically, I mean, if we were to divide that by 3, you're looking at around about, what is it? Off the top of my head, about 1,300 mils each. But what I might do, just to make life a lot easier, I'll go 1,200, 1,200 and 1,200, which is 3.6 litres. So then I should still have a little bit of product left over, and that'll just make life a lot easier. So basically, in each of these containers, we're going to have 600 mils of part A and 600 mils of part B. Okay? But what I'm actually going to do, just so I know that, especially with the colours, that they mix through properly, I'm going to, with the part A, I'm going to colour the part A first. and then add in the part B, just so then I know all of it's actually mixed through nicely. And then with the white, it'll be just white. So basically, if you didn't want to do colors and you just wanted one color, then basically you just do 50-50 of each of those without adding color. Okay? So we've got the scales here. And remember what you got to do, you got to clear off. So clear it off. So now that's registering that there's nothing on top. So if I take that off, it's going to be minus 93. Put that back on, goes back to 0. Okay? So we're wanting 600 mils in each of those. Okay, so we'll just move this to the side for a little bit, and we'll move part B to the side as well for a little bit. So we're going to mix up some colors. Now, because black is a much darker color than blue, I can actually use this paddle and go straight into it, and it won't make any difference. If I was to go the other way around and do the black first and then put the paddle in the blue, you would darken the blue a lot. Alrighty, so basically what we've got here, that's going to be white, then we've got blue, and then we've got black. So now, all we've got to do is add part B to it, and remember, it's 600 mils of part B going into each of these. Alrighty, now you might notice what I just did then. I actually turned on the scales after I put the actual bucket on there. So that's basically going to mean that that's zeroed out. So if I take this off, it's going to go to minus 600 and what's that? 94. I can't read upside down. So then when I put this back on, it'll go to 0. That one, I actually put 8 mils too much of the actual part B, so I'm just going to put 8 mils of part A in here, just so then it's exactly the same. Alrighty, so now it's time to mix them up, and when you're going to be using the same drill piece, it's always good to go from the lightest color up to the darkest color, because as you step down, it's not really going to mix. You're not going to notice the mix in it. If you were to go down that way, then yes, by the time you get to the white here, you will get bits of pieces of the black and the blue in there. Alrighty, so we'll do white first. Remembering to get your sides as well. Always remember to scrape your sides down because you want all of the mixtures to actually mix in really well. So now it's actually time to actually start pouring the colours into the mammoth jug. Now I don't know if you can actually do this, but I just wanted to see if the torch actually gets rid of bubbles in this. Oh yeah, really well actually. Alrighty, so I want to start with a little bit of blue. Got a little bit of black. A bit of white. And just keep repeating the process until it's empty. It's going to be quite messy, I think. Again with a little bit more masking tape, just because when I was putting on the Vaseline I noticed that it was a bit flimsy, so I'm just going to go around it a couple more times. This thing weighs heaps. Let's make sure we're still recording. Yep. Alrighty. Wish me luck. guys, so far I actually really like it. Because I actually like dark colours. And to me, this actually looks like really like dark, like marble almost. Like black, blue and white marble. It's sick! Alrighty, so I'm about to do the round one, and as I was moving the light ring, the little attachment to hold the actual phone to the ring light broke, so I'm actually going to have to pour it with my holding the actual phone. So I hope you guys don't mind. Alright, here we go. Gonna have to hit pause for 2 seconds just so I can scrape a little bit of this. So give me 2 seconds. I'm just going to have to scrape it once more, 1 sec. Alrighty, so I basically just scraped all of that from the actual container. Now, I think I might do some manipulating, eh? So this is actually going to be quite difficult. One hand tilt. Hopefully I can do it. That was an effort and a half to actually tilt that out with one hand while holding the phone. Alrighty guys, so that's the round silicone mat. We're just got to let that set overnight, and then this is the rectangle one. Both are looking awesome. This looks sick! And that looks well wicked! Yoo-hoo! Alrighty guys, so it's going to be a couple of seconds for you guys, but it'll be like 12 hours for me. It only takes 6 to 7 hours to cure, but I'm going to let them sit overnight. Alrighty. But how sick is that? You! And how sick is that? You! Look at these hands! They're not so bad, but... Alright guys, we'll see you soon. Thanks guys. Alrighty guys, it's the next day, and I'll tell you what, this thing is looking well wicked. There is a couple of air bubbles, but I'm not concerned about that at all. The only concern I do have is if it actually turned into a silicone mat or not. So, I guess it's time to unveil it. So, let's peel away the tape first. So far, so good. It didn't stick to the actual masking tape, so winner, winner, chicken dinner. So that's one win. You! Alrighty. You! Check out that! You! This is sick! It's a nice thickness. It's probably about 1/2 centimetre. That is so cool! The back didn't turn out too bad, but certainly the front looks awesome. That is so cool. Yoo! Alrighty, now that we've seen that one works, I'm so excited to see what the rectangle one looks like, because that one I'm more excited about. So, yoo! Alright, so let's turn the camera around onto the other one. Oh, guys, I'm so excited to see how this turns out. right, guys, let's see if this one worked as well. Woo! I'm so excited! Yee-hoo! It's working! This is so cool! That is wicked cool! Hey! Yahoo! Alright, guys. We have a 1.2 meter by 60 centimeter fluid art silicone mat. Now, I am just noticing around the sides, I've got it all over me, along the sides where it actually was taped, it actually didn't set all the way, and I think that's because there was no air getting to it. So now that the masking tape is off, the air will get to it and it'll actually cure. But it's a nice thickness. Again, that's about, I would say, maybe about 4 mil, maybe 5 mil. But yeah, wow, guys, I am super stoked! Yeah! Yeah, 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 yeah! Yeah! Hot diggity dog! Now these marks just here is actually just the Vaseline, so we can actually just wipe all that up. Maybe some alcohol ink might be better. Oh, not alcohol ink. Isopropyl alcohol. I might spray some isopropyl alcohol on that. We'll get all this Vaseline off, and then yeah. Woo! It worked! Yeah! Boom! Yeah! Woohoo! I am super stoked with how this thing turned out. Well, actually, both of them turned out wicked cool. Yoo! Alrighty, guys, these silicone mats turned out so cool. How awesome is this? Yes! This is sick! So that's one. And then here's the other. These are well wicked. I am super, super, super stoked. Yahoo! It's almost like a cloak. Oh, yeah? These are sick! Yee-hoo! Oh, guys, I'm so happy with how these things turned out. You! Bet you've never seen a silicone mat like that. You! Yeah! You! If you can't tell, I'm excited! You! What do you reckon? You! These are sick! Super, super, super stoked with how these things turned out. Oh, I just dropped it on the floor, now it's all dirty. Alright guys, I just want to thank you so much for joining me on this episode. I am blown away with how awesome these things turned out. So you! Yes! And if you think that I'm deserving of your thumbs up, please hit that like button, give me a thumbs up. I'd really love to see thousands and thousands of thumbs ups. And if you think I'm deserving of your subscription, please hit the subscribe button and then hit the little dark bell. That'll indicate when I actually upload a new video. I do upload a new video every week, so you will get notifications every week. And if you think any of your friends or family might like to see how I created these fluid art silicone mats, please forward it on to them. I'd love for them to have a look at it. Alright guys, one more time, thank you so much for joining me on this episode. I had so much fun creating these things because they turned out well wicked. You! And I can't wait to actually use them. They almost seem too good to actually pour things over it. But I know that even if I pour things on it, I can just scrape it off or peel it straight off. So that's the beauty of silicone mats. Alright guys, again, thank you so much for joining me on this episode. I certainly had a lot of fun. And this, and also this, this is the fine art of distraction.